The United States escalated its confrontation with Brazil on September 23rd by sanctioning Viviane Barci de Moraes, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes, and revoking visas for senior judicial officials. Officially, Washington said the measures targeted abuse of authority and suppression of freedom of expression. Yet coming days after former President Jair Bolsonaro's 27-year conviction for attempting a coup, the action raises deeper questions. Justice Moraes oversaw Bolsonaro's criminal case, which found the far-right leader guilty of plotting to cling to power after losing the 2022 election to President Luiz Lula da Silva. Critics argue Moraes of weaponizing the courts against Bolsonaro loyalists, while defenders say he is upholding Brazil's fragile democracy. Now, with US sanctions aimed at his family and colleagues, Washington risks signaling that political loyalty to Bolsonaro outweighs judicial independence. The sanction imposed under the Global Magnitsky Act target Barci de Moraes and family-run Lex Institute. Visa restriction also applied to Moraes and other officials. These measures build on earlier US action, including 50% tariff on Brazilian export and prior sanction on other judiciary members. US authorities warned that financial institutions engaging with sanctioned individuals could also face penalties, applying practical pressure on Brazil's domestic institution. For Bolsonaro supporters, the US actions are vindication. For the Lula administration, they are affront to sovereignty. The US Congress is tracking an amnesty bill that could shield Bolsonaro and allies involved in January 23 attack on government buildings. This prompts a critical question. Is the US defending democracy or enabling actors who challenge judicial authority and election outcomes? The Trump administration's use of visa restriction, financial sanctions, and trade penalties suggest ideological alignment with Bolsonaro may be guiding policy, even at the expense of democratic norms. The effects are tangible. Visa restriction prevented Health Minister Alexandre from attending the UN General Assembly in New York, while Treasury warnings have put Brazilian financial institutions on high alert. More broadly, the measure suggests that the US may intervene in domestic judicial processes when it serves political interests, strengthening institutional checks and balances. Bolsonaro's conviction and appeal process will continue, but Washington's intervention risks setting a dangerous precedent. Foreign powers selectively protecting favored politicians against judicial rulings. In a region where the US positions itself as a champion of democracy, these actions could appear as backing authoritarianism, rewarding those who attempt to overturn elections. As Brazil navigates its domestic legal battles, the world watches closely. While framed as promoting human rights and accountability, US sanctions may instead embolden anti-democratic forces. In siding with Bolsonaro, the US may unintentionally convey that political loyalty matters more than electoral legitimacy, judicial independence, or democratic stability.